In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to use a new feature of WeVideo's interface that will make editing still images or video clips a little bit easier for you. So I've got the timeline view open, and I'm going to come down here to this picture of a map of the United States, and I'm going to drag it into the timeline, and then I'm going to come over to my folder with music, and I'm going to also pull in the audio track a piece of music. Now, the first thing I know that for this test, this music is way too long, so I'm going to just come over to the end of it, and I'm going to drag it over this way and have it appear to about there. So that's about 25 seconds, and you can see that you can as you pull on the right corner or side, you can see the amount of time that this clip will last. And my still image is pretty small. I can just mouse over it and see that by default, images that you bring in are for 5 seconds. But if I want to see this a little better, I can come over here to the bottom right and click on the little zoom timeline tool, and that will give me a little easier time with being able to see what I want. So what I want to do is and if I pull the playhead over here, what I want to do is I want to have some effect show up with this map of the United States. So in order to do that, I'm going to select it and then use my keyboard and do Control-C on a PC and then click Paste to copy that. But it says that I can't. I have to move the playhead to an empty area. So what I have to do is come over here where I want to paste it and then paste it in like that. And I also will want to move it over a little bit, so I'll get it close to the other clip. Now, here's the new feature that has been added in WeVideo. When I click on this link, this image, then there's a little tab that shows me some new features. So I'm going to click on FX, which stands for Special Effects. And when I click on it, it opens up the effects window, and I'm going to pick, I'll pick black and white. I was thinking of doing sepia, but I'll go ahead and click on Apply to this clip only. And even though it still looks color over here, it's black and white over there. And if I decided I really wanted to use sepia instead, I could click like that, and you could see that. So either way, sepia or black and white, I kind of like sepia, so I'm going to go with that. So now when I move the playhead over, I can see that it goes from sepia to color. But the new feature that I really like is that this little bar has been added that lets me fade in and out these clips very easily without using the rubber band tool. It automatically shows you that the opacity line and these little markers have been inserted, but if I click on video, it will automatically fade in that image and fade it out. And then what I can do is come over to this second one, and I can repeat that. Let me just go over to here, and clicked on the wrong one. Sorry, I meant to click on the bar, not FX, and click on the video tab, and that will then fade that in and out. So now let's click away from that to move that out of the way, and what we'll see when we play this is that it starts off as sepia, and that will fade out, and then the fade in will be to color. And that's okay, but it's not really what I want. So what I'm going to do is go back to the fade options, and I'm going to make this fade in last more for like 3 seconds. And I'm going to have that go very slowly. And I'm also going to increase this to about 10 seconds. And you see that I can still do these manually if I want to, but I can also click over here and just enter the values, and that will be a simpler way to do this. So let's also come over here, and let's click on. So it takes a little practice to be able to get this right, and I'll have this fade out over a 2-second period instead of 1 second. And so now let's go back to the beginning, And you can see that it faded in from black, and it's going to fade out slowly and then fade in slowly to color. And then fade out to black. So I can experiment with doing this manually or using, you have to click on the clip to be able to get to these tools. And this one is the clip editor that lets you do transforming or do animation from there where you can zoom or pan. And I won't do that for right now. So the most important thing is just to know that these tools are available to you for still images or for video clips. And then the last thing I would probably do if I were to actually use this is I would want to fade out the audio, and we don't have those same features for music or audio, so I'll have to do this one manually. I'm guessing that that WeVideo will add these features to audio at some point, but you can just click on the little the rubber band or the opacity line, and then you can pull that down to fade the music in and pull that down to fade the music out. And one last time we'll take a look at this. And the music faded in sort of subtly, and it will fade out in just a bit. And again, you can experiment with how much fades in or out you would like to add to images, video clips, or audio. So that's just a look at a new feature that's been added to the WeVideo editing interface in the timeline. So you should try this out and see what your results look like.